Hey guys, so the tip to tackle for this week is how to do well in step one. And one thing you guys have to realize is that everyone has their own way of how to do things, and it's not going to be the same per person. But the tip for today is go do a practice exam. I know it sounds scary, and you might feel like you don't know anything at this point in time, but it will highlight what you're absolutely weak on, and you can start from there. You can build on yourself in that way. I know it can be a little scary, but you can do it. Good luck on studying, guys. And here is some advice from your other alumni.
Hi everyone, my name is Mikey and I graduated with an MD at the University of Split School of Medicine, Medical Studies and English. Yeah, I get that, it's kind of a mouthful. Here at Surviving Medical School Plus, we have plenty of contributors that can tell you the do's and don'ts. You know what I'm saying, oh, Golyan is king, Sketchy saved my life, Pathoma or nothing. So don't worry, we got plenty of advice on study success. But today, I'll be talking about a not-so-discussed topic. Self-care during the USMLEs. Right? I told you, something totally different. I know we're all scared about the USMLEs. We've been told that it's the exam, well, technically exams, of our life. With that in mind, yeah, that is extremely daunting. And to some, kind of crippling. We forget that there's an outside world, that people exist, and more importantly, we forget to take care of ourselves. And like many students out there, I did that. And I definitely did not like what I was turning into. I was snappy at people, gained a bit of weight, started to hate looking at first aid. And in reality, I think it made my studying really ineffective. I was counting down the hours, just staring at a clock, and not really focusing at the material at hand. So once I started to notice that, I basically had to shut down everything and reevaluate my study approach to try to incorporate some downtime. So this is what I did to make sure that I was getting the precious me time. First off, you got to be honest with yourself. What kind of studier are you? Can you sit on your ass for 10 hours a day? How about 5? Or are you like me and need about 3 or 4 hours and most probably like 5 minutes every 30 to 40 minutes and then eventually take a 45-minute to an hour break once those 3 or 4 hours are done? Because in the end of the day, it's about the quality of work you put into and not the quantity. So when I figured out that I can't do those said 3 or 4 hours a day, I used that 45 minutes to an hour to do whatever I wanted to do. I could mean I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, having my lunch, going for a run, or walking my dog. It didn't matter. Whatever. The key here was to not think about the boards, but to actually look out and feel the world and just relax. Once that was done, I actually felt that I should be studying again, but not in a sense of despair, but rather what actually kind of seemed like a reward again to study. So I would do my next 3 or 4 hours and then repeat my long breaks. And then next thing you know, it's dinner time. So usually after dinner, I didn't study that much more, maybe like an hour tops, just to review what I did for the day, and next thing you know, it's 8 o'clock. If you're an early bed person, great, you're in bed. You can do whatever downtime you want. The key word is whatever you want. The weekends, I usually do a slightly different approach. I usually end around 4 or 5-ish on Friday. And it's usually during that time I kind of review what I did throughout the week. Just a quick review just to kind of refresh my mind and make sure I remembered everything. And then after that, I would go out, see my friends. And luckily, my friends are not in medicine, so it was pretty good to kind of seclude myself from medicine and trying to review to myself. Because as I said, this time it's about me and my friends and not the boards. Once I started following the schedule more or less, I started to retain info so much better. My UWorld scores were improving. The days were going faster, and more importantly, I didn't hate myself. I really want to emphasize that this schedule worked for me. What I'm really trying to get at is that this is about you. You do what you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And if you figure that part out, and you will, the USMLEs will be significantly less stressful. I wish you all the luck in the world, and good luck.
To make sure that you're taking care of yourself when you're prepping for your boards, here are some tips from Dr. Qadourah. Tip number 1, write an effective plan. Tip number 2, stop listening to everybody, because every person has a different method of approach. Tip number 3, think of the bigger picture. See, you're not just sitting for a board exam, you're also strengthening your knowledge. Number 4, keep releasing those endorphins. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to de-stress, especially when things get overwhelming or you have a setback. Take a deep breath, look at it from the outside, and just take your break. You need to recharge and avoid burnouts because mental health is everything when it comes down to such preparations. Number 5, resilience. We are all human and almost never do our plans go as perfectly as we planned them to be. And that is totally normal. So just hang in there and get back on up when you stumble. Number 6, confidence. Extremely important to be confident, especially for the amount of hours that you're put in. Don't be discouraged by others. Number 7, always focus on quality rather than quantity. Number 8, be motivated. Find motivation in the littlest things. As they say, motivation is like showering. You need a daily dose of it, and you need to be sure to motivate yourself every single day. There's nothing as too much motivation. That motivation is what's going to keep you going amidst all of this hassle. So try to write down something every day that motivates you, to encourage you. And finally, number 9, last but not least, take care of yourself. That means eat well, sleep well, stop thinking about the output, and just simply focus on your input. Happy studying!